Hi guys, in this review I'll be checking out the SODI C50 15W wireless car charger for your car. This is a vent mounted wireless car charger that supports up to 15 watts. It mounts onto your air blades with 3 points of contact. There's a strong magnetic force on the front side to keep your MagSafe or magnetic backed case always attached to the mount. Okay, so let's check out what's inside the box. Okay, so here's what you get inside the box. You get a paper user manual that tells you how to put it together and how to install it. You get the wireless charger itself, an adjustable air vent mounting bracket, and just under a meter USB-C to USB-A cable. Okay, so looking over the mount itself then, it's quite a thin kind of profile, but it is quite big compared to some magnetic car profile mounts, mostly because of the alignment pin there. There is a mirrored kind of like gloss reflective part on the top there, and there is a clear status indicator section at the bottom which goes solid blue once charging is complete, and it glows whilst it's charging, and it will go green whilst it's being powered without any phone attached to the mount itself. On the back you've got some passive air cooling to keep the circuitry inside nice and cool. There's a little bit of gloss black edging on the side there, but the back part is kind of like a brushed aluminium material. A matte black facing on the top there with some slight rubber and gloss glass on the top there as well. Just quickly looking over the ball mount socket as well. This has a ratcheted arm that you can see has been reinforced with some metal bar there to stop it from bending, because a lot of these plastic ones do eventually bend from the weight of the phone. This will go around your air vent blade, and then you basically dial this back in and it clamps around the air vent blade with 3 points of contact to allow the mount to stay quite stable on the front surface of your air vent blades. To get this attached, you simply pass the ball mount onto the back of the mount, and that's it in place. You tighten this once you've got your position of how you want to position your phone on the dashboard, and then you basically tighten this to lock it in place. Pass that over your air vent blades, ratchet it back in, and the whole mount should be good to go. On the bottom here you've got a USB-C port here for attaching the powered cable to. So just quickly we'll just check the power of the mount itself. It's not the most strongest, I would say, and that pin doesn't actually align it that well, but we'll see how that goes. I don't have that much confidence in its force. The case I'm using here, the Banks case, is a lot more powerful than the magnets on the actual iPhone itself. And considering it does lose its grip quite easily, we'll see how that fares in the car. But for general movement and bangs and potholes and things like that, this should withstand those kind of bumps anyway. It's just those jolting, jarring forces that might actually lose it down into your footwell. We'll get this temporarily powered up. Right, so we've got it connected to our 12-volt adapter down here, and you can see that we've got this all now powered up. So we've got a green status light to let us know that it is now powered at least. And if you're giving it 5 volts, this will flash slowly green. And if it's a solid green like we got here, it's getting at least 9 volts. And simply we just connect our phone. And no MagSafe animation there with NFC, unfortunately, but it doesn't really mean whether you're going to get fast or slow charging. That's just an animation that's caused by an NFC chip that they put into the charging plates of the MagSafe adapters. So we're now charging now. Unfortunately, Apple's made it a lot difficult to assess how quick charging actually is. So we've got 9.26 volts there on the pass-through. So now you can see whilst it's charging, got the blue indicator light, which is a shame because you're not really going to see that because your phone's going to be on the actual mount itself. You're not even going to see that blue light from shining unless you're going to see it from the side there, and then you can see it breathing blue as it glows. So using a USB device isn't really going to tell us that much information really in terms of how much the phone is actually charging. One thing we can try though is Android, and it's a little bit better with its Amperes app. So we'll try that out and see how much the wireless is charging. We are at 91%, so it's not really going to do a fast charge at this point of its charging rate. So we're getting roughly about 1000 milliamps, which if you put it over its voltage rate, we are getting roughly about 9 watts into the phone here. So that's the general features of the C50. Let's now jump in the car here and see how well it all works out in the car. So I'll see you over there. Right, so we're in the car and we've got our C50 here ready to go and get plugged in. Now I could use their existing cable, but I'm basically going to use my discrete USB-C cable here. It's 100 watt this one, so it's definitely ample enough cable quality to power the wireless charging mount anyway, so it just gives you a nice looking install. So if you were thinking of doing that, you can do something similar and wire it through your air vents and down into your central compartment. But we're going to plug that into our USB-C port here, and then I'll attach it to the air vent blades. So we're going to choose the next one down because there's not enough room at the top there, and we're going to basically, I can't put it any further this way, so once I've done that, I ratchet the whole thing towards the actual vent mount, and there we have it. So that's now nice and secure, that's not going anywhere, and then we just simply attach the cable to the bottom of the adapter there, and there we have it. You can loosen that little latch at the top that I showed you earlier. That gives you a bit more room to maneuver how you want that plate to sit in your car. Whilst it's like that, I'm going to bring my phone in and attach it. It actually rides a little bit higher than I was expecting, so that's quite good because I like the phone to be a little bit higher, because otherwise it's blocked from my steering wheel, so that's a nice addition there. It does come quite far away from the vents though, which is good, because if you've got heat coming through the vents, it's not going to get as hot as something that's a little bit more lower profile on the air vent blade, so it gives you more room for the air vents to do their job basically. But personally I prefer a more flush mount, so I don't know if I'll be keeping this one, but it's just down to you really. It's down to your own personal opinion. So I can maneuver that how I want. Obviously that's going to move once I start going over bumps, so I'm just going to finish where I want that to sit, and then I will then rotate the lever at the back, tighten it in place. So that's now in place. There's not really much movement there, so that's really good for bumps and things, and that's basically it really. We'll just start the car to make sure everything starts charging, so I'll turn the phone off. And now it's charging. So that's good. We'll take this off. You can see the blue LED there at the bottom, which turns green, which means it's just being powered. So this could go into your USB port if you've got one in the car existing. But if you're using that for CarPlay, you can use something like I'm using here, which is quite a rather old. I had it for review some time ago, but it's a USB-C and USB-A adapter that goes in the 12-volt socket, and that will give the mount all the charge it needs. So I'm gonna plug that back in. So the SODI C50 15W MagSafe Wireless charger retails currently for $29.99, and it's currently 40% off on their website right now. It only comes in one color, that's black, and there's also free shipping for orders over $20, so free shipping with that as well. And they currently have a user code SD10 to get 10% off as well, so that will knock it down by another $2.99. So that makes it a little bit more acceptable and a little bit more wallet friendly. Overall, I think it's not a bad charger. Personally, I prefer a more lower profile and a little bit more minimal in its footplate design. I was hoping that this little foot here might give us some center alignment for the MagSafe charging on the iPhone, but unfortunately that's just superficial and it's just containing the LED part of it. Personally, I would have liked to have an LED around the edges or something and lose all this bulk here, but that's just my own personal preference. The back here is definitely a lot further away than what I would like, but I do like the fact that it mounts the phone quite high up onto the car display, and it's a little bit close to me as well, which is quite nice. You might prefer that in the car. As I said earlier, I can't really test out the full performance of its 15-watt charging, and I'll run this for a couple of days, see how well this performs over the many potholes that we've got in the UK, and see how it fares with all the bumps. And if I do encounter any issues, I'll leave them down in a pinned comment down below. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, leave us a thumbs up and let me know in the comments if you have any questions about the C50 wireless charger from SODI. You can support the channel by giving us a super thanks along with your comment or question. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.